Welcome to another entry into my in-depth series. This one is for the idle pearl. My layout is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. This puts the pin below my bridge and shaded towards the ring finger side. I've mentioned before that I have a really heavy roll naturally, so this layout helps the ball down the lane a little easier and softens the back end reaction a bit too. I still like rolly stuff because of the motion on the lane, but I do need to balance them a little with the layout to make them more usable. I think you'll see though that it's way better than just usable though. This is my second idle pearl. My first that I used for my original review that we're watching right now was 5 by 5 by 3. And it was just too much ball. It's way too quick on the friction for me, so it tended to stand up really quick and quit. The different layout blended the reaction much better and allowed me to control it more. The result for me is basically a fresh Marvel pearl, which is a pretty big change of direction from the first one I drilled. Every ball has a break-in period where the surface gets some wear on it, the cover gets some oil on it, and it tames down a bit. Initially, the idle pearl is both cleaner and sharper than the Marvel pearl, but as it breaks in over the first 30 games or so, it eases into Marvel pearl territory and stays there. Now, before we go any further, my initial review for this ball was flat awful, so I took it down. Not that it's going to matter much now, but I have a completely different opinion because I was just wrong in my first review. The versatility of this ball is really amazing for a pearl cover. Usually you imagine pearl balls taking advantage of a couple different situations. Wide open house shots and when transition sets in and you need more length through the front part of the lane when the balls with surface aren't getting down the lane. Sometimes they can be a little too angular on fresh shots, but the idle pearl uses the rolly and quick revving icon core to help control the lane a little more, so I wouldn't say it's over-under at all, really. It handles oil well and is definitely strong on friction, but not terribly sensitive to it. I found myself being able to use it in quite a few situations from several different angles. It does require certain situations to be playable from certain angles, but some balls just aren't playable from some areas regardless of the circumstances. Take the Phase 3 for example. Great ball and it's obviously going to make a big splash when it comes out, but I can't imagine a situation where I'd actually be able to play right of second arrow with it, or even get to second arrow to begin with. The idle pearl, on the other hand, has made me a lot of money from second arrow. It needs more friction to play the deeper angles, but I can get just as comfortable with it from fifth arrow as I can from second. The original idle looks good from second arrow with a higher amount of oil, but it's not built for angle, and regardless of the conditions, it's tricky to get it to be effective from fifth arrow. The point here isn't that the idle pearl can do anything regardless of the conditions, it's that it has a wider range of use from a wider range of angles given the appropriate situation, and most balls can't say that. Even when given the ideal situation, some balls take too much help from certain angles, but when given the ideal situations, the idle pearl can do nearly anything you ask it to. As you saw in my latest Essentials collection, this makes it an important ball for me in my first bag. It goes to every league night and every tournament regardless of the pattern. In a recent tournament I went to, the lanes were too dry for the majority of what I brought, but the idle pearl was still able to succeed. I was pretty deep, of course, but it gave me length, lane control, and an effective motion through the pins when I was having trouble getting literally everything else I brought to do all three, and it reinforced the importance of this ball in my bag. My Idle Pro, Phase 2, Halo Burn, Phase 3, Intense Fire, and Pro Motion just wouldn't get down the lane without having to chuck them or get super deep, and then when I did that, they were either burning up or couldn't overcome the angle necessary to get them down the lane, while my High Road T was getting down the lane easily enough, but didn't have the guts to give me an effective motion at or through the pins. The Idle Pearl required a bit softer hand, but not only did it do all the right things, it did them well. Again, it's not a magic ball, no such thing, but it continues to score high marks and impress on a wide range of conditions and condition states from a number of different angles. Thanks for watching.